And one thing that's crystal clear is that under our Constitution, it is Congress, not the President, not the Department of Justice, not the Department of Defense, and it is the Department of Defense because Congress has not changed the name of that department. It is Congress, crystal clear, that has the responsibility, the sacred responsibility to declare war. We have a bipartisan war powers resolution, and we saw 5 Republicans join together with Democrats in the Senate to speak with one voice and to say that if the president wants to go to war in Venezuela, he's got to come to the Congress first and get authorization. It is a simple statement rooted in our Constitution, and there's a lot of common sense in this because the costs of war in trillions of dollars that we've spent in our lifetimes alone, in the tens of thousands of lives that have been forever changed, the thousands of lives lost, these are the most consequential decisions that a government can make. And common sense is not something that the president has supplied to the American people. Nothing undermines public trust more than an inability to answer the basic question, why would we go to war in Venezuela? What is this going to accomplish for the American people? Well, look, we know that replacing one thug with another is not a good reason to go to war. There's no common sense in that. And the president has got to answer questions, and as members of the Armed Services Committee, we will be relentless in seeking answers to the basic questions that the American people deserve. At the end of the day, the costs that we are asking the American people to bear in the middle of the most acute affordability crisis in generations is something that every person who's taken an oath to our Constitution has got to account for. I was talking to a veteran in my hometown just a few days ago. You know, budgets are a statement of principles, and families across this country are feeling the squeeze and the pain of an affordability crisis like never before. People who have put their lives on the line and served our country are having to make some of the most painful choices you could ever imagine a person having to make. The choice of whether to pay rent or to keep a car, the choice of which medical appointments this amazing veteran who served our country is going to be able to actually afford in the year ahead. This is just not right. It is dead wrong, and we are here to speak with one voice to say to our Republican colleagues, we urge you to join us. To the Speaker, he should bring our bipartisan war powers resolution to a vote as soon as possible because every member of this body should have to take a vote on this most consequential decision, life or death decisions that forever changed the course of our history. So I'm grateful to be standing alongside you today, and I'm proud to turn it over to my friend and colleague, and who I'm delighted to be leading this task force alongside, together with Congressman Crow, Congressman Derek Tran.
Good morning. I want to thank Chair Aguilar and Vice Chair Lieu for gathering us for this important discussion that we're having. I'm Representative Derek Tran. I'm an Army veteran, and I am a proud co-chair of the House Democratic National Security Task Force. Most importantly, though, I represent the people of Orange and LA counties in California's 45th District. In the 10 days since President Trump took unilateral military action in Venezuela without consulting Congress, we have been left with more questions than answers. What does this mean for our troops at home and abroad? Can we maintain the international alliances that help keep our service members safe? Is the Trump administration more concerned with the needs of oil companies than the American people? Look, when I enlisted in the Army Reserve when I was 18 years old, I did so because I'm a proud American. When my president sends my brothers and sisters into harm's way, we have to trust that he's acting in the best interest of the American people, not for oil profits, not for big donors, not for the next election. What my families in my district is begging for is relief at the grocery store. They need child care that doesn't break the bank. They are begging for houses that they can afford and health care that does not drain their life savings. The people on this stage is ready to get to work. House Democrats are ready to get to work. We're not going to stand for another costly forever war while our constituents struggle to pay their bills. Thank you so much, and I yield to the chairman for questions.
Thank you, Derek. Questions? Nick?
I want to ask about DHS funding. What is the posture of the caucus now towards a year-long CR on DHS funding versus putting conditions somehow through negotiation?
Well, we like passing appropriations bills, but the appropriations bills have to be fair. They have to have reasonable allocations. Democrats put additional language forward to our colleagues on the other side of the aisle. It's not language that they could support, and so ultimately the Homeland bill fell out of the package that we have in front of us this week. We want accountability and oversight. I know Donald Trump and Kristi Noem and their friends do not want accountability and oversight, but House Democrats want accountability and oversight to ICE. They should have to notify Congress. They should have to come to Congress. They should have to continue to testify to Congress as to what they are doing. But more importantly, they need to look out for the American people. Right now, they are terrorizing people in the streets of this country. They are hurting innocent individuals. They are detaining U.S. citizens. They are killing people. That's what House Democrats want answers to. And if DHS isn't willing to provide those answers, Democrats will continue to use every tool we can in order to push for them. So it is not part of the package. It could be in front of us in future packages. That's a decision for Rosa DeLauro and Tom Cole. Michael.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. President Trump will be in Detroit today. Speaking on the economy, I wanted to get your reaction to the fact that he's now kind of turning his attention away from all of the international affairs that he's been focused on for most of the last year, and will now be trying to focus on the economy and put forward a lot of affordability proposals that he believes will help Republicans as you all head into the midterms.
Yeah, I think we'll see, Michael. He tends to distract himself when he starts talking about affordability. But if he wants to talk about how we lower the costs that people face, whether that's credit costs or housing costs, Democrats are all ears. Pleased that he picked up the phone and called Elizabeth Warren after her speech yesterday. If he wants to meet with House Democrats or Senate Democrats, I would imagine he knows how to find us, and we will carry forward our focus and our mission on lowering the costs that people face. But if he is set on using the Department of Justice to weaponize, to go after the Fed, chair, look, we're not in for that. And so the problem is he continues to distract himself. And we'll see what this speech is about. It is likely a speech about affordability, and then who knows what he says or posts once he gets back on Air Force One. That uncertainty is what's wrong for the American people. That uncertainty means we aren't talking about affordability. We aren't talking about real solutions, and that's the concern that House Democrats have. Sure. Vice Chair.
Donald Trump lies all the time. He just recently said he doesn't remember saying he was going to give $2,000 stimulus checks to all Americans, which he did say, by the way. Now he's backtracking on that. And then he's going to go to Detroit. I don't know why we would take what he says seriously, because it's his policies that are jacking up prices. His tariffs have increased the prices on cars. His tariffs have increased the prices on food. His tariffs have increased the prices on a number of items people brought during the holidays. So unless he reverses his policies, these prices are going to keep on increasing and increasing and increasing, and his focus is elsewhere as acting president of Venezuela.
Questions?
It's no secret that the Republican majority has grown increasingly slim. There's a number of persistent attendance issues on the Republican side, which has effectively gotten rid of the margin. What's the Democrat strategy, or is there one, to ensure full attendance on every single vote to maybe take advantage of this?
Our strategy is simple. Show up and vote if it can help the American public. We talk about it every day in every meeting, and pleased that House Democrats showed up. 213 House Democrats showed up last week. to lower the healthcare costs for the American people. It's those types of wins that are so beneficial to lower the costs, as the vice chair said, that people face. It's up to Republicans as to whether they want to work with us or not. 17 Republicans joined those efforts in that discharge petition. But we're going to keep showing up and coming to work, and that's what we'll continue to stress to our colleagues.
Today, the Clintons announced that they will not be following the subpoena with the House Oversight Committee. What is the caucus's reaction to the Clintons' decision, and what's the path going forward?
I don't think there's any oversight, Democrats here, but that's a decision that obviously we just saw. Republicans continue to distract from the American people. They continue to want to focus on what doesn't matter. This is the same group that said for months they didn't want to release the Epstein files and that nothing was there. And so now they want to embrace this and score political points with testimony. That's a decision for the Clintons to make. But House Democrats are focused on, one, the administration carrying out the law to release the Epstein files, no matter what they say or who they name. But scoring political points and bringing people in for testimony, that's just something that House Republicans want to do to take our eye off the ball, take the American people's eye off the ball.
On the congressional stock trading ban, obviously it's getting a markup tomorrow. I know that there are a number of members in your caucus who are very disappointed that it's not as robust as the bipartisan ones that they agreed to. However, Republicans are arguing that at least it is something. Do you have a sense on whether are you encouraging Democrats to vote for this? Is this being whipped at all? Did it come up in conference today?
Didn't come up today. This is obviously something that's coming before the House Administration Committee. We will follow the guidance and follow closely the questions that are asked in the markup from House Administration Democrats. We were serious about stamping out corruption in Congress. There are Republicans in Congress who are trading stocks on health care while they're voting to cut health care. These are things that the American people feel are shameful and awful, and everything that's wrong with this institution. And I don't know if additional disclosure is enough. But we will look at the package. We will judge it on its merits. We will look at the questions and the amendments that are offered within committee. And as a caucus at that point, we will have a discussion as to where we go. We're a little early in that process, but count me in that category that is that wishes that it would have been a more robust package. But we'll see what emerges out of committee.
The president has just said that help is coming to Iran. How worried are you that we're about to see another military intervention without congressional oversight? And what do you say to the Iranian people who want America to intervene?
I'll ask Vice Chair and maybe Representative Crow to also chime in. The people of Iran are bravely standing up and speaking out against this brutal regime, but the president does not have the authority to go in, and this is part of this pattern. We don't know if this post is policy, but it's something that all of us are very mindful of, and we want the people of Iran to be safe. We don't want people exercising their opinions to die in the streets, but the president needs to consult with Congress on actions that involve the United States military.
I agree with Chairman Aguilar. We should absolutely support the people of Iran. They are fighting back against a brutal regime that has repressed them. It's killed them. This regime is now experiencing what happens when you're authoritarian and repressive. The people are going to rise up, and we should do everything we can. Now, if the president wants to use military force, that under our Constitution, that requires authorization from Congress. And I'm sure Congress is happy to have that debate, but you got to have that debate. You can't just use military force without congressional authorization.
Well, we completely stand with the people of Iran who are yearning for freedom and democracy. I mean, they are victims of this oppressive, violent regime. And there are many ways for us to support the Iranian people short of military action, because it's not in America's best interest to start a war with Iran. In fact, it's not even in the Iranian people's best interest for the United States to go to war with Iran. It is highly unfortunate, though, that the Trump administration and Donald Trump have spent the last year dismantling many of the tools and the agencies and the departments and the things that we have at our disposal to support the Iranian people and the people around the world who are in exactly this type of situation. Like U.S. aid, like our communications capabilities, so many of the tools, the soft power tools of the United States government that we would use to support people who are yearning for freedom and democracy have been dismantled and gutted by this administration. That said, there are still mechanisms to support short of war, and this is exactly the point why we're standing here, is we don't believe that this administration or any administration should start a war with a foreign country unless this body debates it and votes on it. That's exactly why for 20 years we spent trillions of dollars and thousands of American lives and failed in nation building, and it ended poorly, right? So support the Iranian people, do so with the tools that we have available, but military conflict would not serve the interests of the Iranian people or the American people.
Back. Yep.
Republican Study Committee released their framework for reconciliation 2.0 bill today, and I wanted to just get your reaction to that and whether you think a reconciliation bill is something that Democrats are going to have to contend with this year heading before the midterms.
That's something for Republicans to debate and discuss. We will respond if that's the route that they go. But what we won't stand for is their continued assault on healthcare to pay for tax cuts for their billionaire cronies and friends. They cut $1 trillion of out of the healthcare budget. We said that was what was going to happen when they talked about reconciliation 10 months ago here in this room. We said they were going after Medicaid. Steve Scalise goes on the floor. He says, nowhere in this budget document does it say Medicaid is cut. We knew they were going to cut it. If that's what's going to happen, count us out. If this is just a project that Republicans want to do to make themselves look good so they can say that they're talking about health care, count us out. If this cuts costs that their billionaire friends have to pay and reduces taxes, count us out. But if they want a process that's about bipartisan solutions, we've proven time and time again, including 3 times just in the last few months, that we're willing to go through that process. Last question.
I'm going to go back to the issue as far as the ICE agents are concerned. A number of municipalities within your districts simply don't honor ICE 48-hour ICE detainers, and ICE simply says that a lot of the chaos that's happening within the streets happened because a number of these individuals who they are going after are being simply released, and they are convicted criminals with violent convictions, and if they were simply held, they could pick them up and deport them, and then the issues that are happening in the streets would be happening. Would you agree that these detainers should be honored within the municipalities within your districts?
Did Renee Good have a warrant? Was she an undocumented? It's my opportunity now. You asked your question. Some of the individuals that are being scooped up do not have detainers. They are not undocumented individuals. House Democrats firmly believe that violent criminals should not be on our streets. And if there are undocumented individuals who are violent criminals, they should be deported. That is our position. Now, if you're asking if we support local law enforcement being part of this Gestapo of rounding up individuals, our answer is no. Our answer is local officials should be responsible to protect their local communities. That's what local law enforcement does. I was a local mayor. Many of our colleagues come from local government. That is the responsibility of local government, is to keep people safe. The federal government's responsibility is to exercise what you're talking about, and that's the job that we take issue with in this case with ICE. They have an ability to detain and they have an ability to deport folks. It should follow a process. It should include getting warrants for individuals, judicial warrants, not fake phony ICE warrants, when they want to grab somebody. They have a process to do that. And it should be to use the courts in order to execute warrants that keep this country safe. They are choosing not to do that. They are choosing chaos in the streets. They are choosing lawlessness. That's what they are choosing. And so it's our job to provide accountability and oversight when they aren't following the law. House Democrats stand behind that. We won't apologize for that. Thank you so much.
No, I know, it's one of those days where it's like, they're like, even like with the Republican one, it's just like, okay, I'm like, technically you should impeach because the holder is stock trading, or do I should ask about stock trading? I'm like, but if I don't ask about Powell, I'm real stupid. Right, I was just like, Powell. I guess, well, I don't know, have you heard anything from the committee at this point?
Comer did a gaggle, but I wasn't there. It was like on 45 minutes ago, Comer did a gaggle.
Like, oh no, like,
Oh, stock